Hey, welcome back. For those of you who have not watched any of my videos before, thanks for joining. This is the Flatbed Kitchen. Tonight I am going to show you how to make jalapeno poppers the way I like to eat them. Most of them I've already got decored and de-seeded. I do have one left to do that I'm gonna do here in just a second to show you how I do them. But these will be stuffed with a mix of cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, some garlic spice, or garlic and herb seasoning, a little bit of onion that I already got cut up here, and then I'm going to wrap them in bacon, and we're going to bake them in the toaster oven. So let's go ahead and get this thing started so we don't take too awful long. You're just going to cut the cap off of it, and then you can either use a coring tool or you can just use a plastic spoon or a regular metal spoon, whatever you want to use. Just pretty much anything that you can get down in there and get the majority of the core out, and the majority of the seeds out. Some of them are a little bit easier to do than others. The smaller ones, you know, I find that it's a little bit easier to do with a plastic spoon or a plastic fork, something like that. Something that's a little bit smaller, but yeah, you just want to get it cored and get all the seeds out of it. After you do that, just set that off to the side. Let's go ahead and get our cheese mix made up. So the way I like to do this is going to be in a Ziploc bag. The reason I like to use a Ziploc bag is to make it a little bit easier to actually fill the peppers, instead of trying to put everything in there with a spoon or something else small like that. You know, it's a lot easier to be able just to kind of push everything off in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our onion put in here. All right, cream cheese. Now I'm only doing, I don't know, 10 or so of these, so I went ahead and took some of the cream cheese out before I even left the house. You know, I packed this stuff to make this. It was the only thing I planned on doing with this cream cheese. You know, if I have any left over, I'll stick it into a plastic container and I'll use it later. As a cheese dip, I've got some crackers in here that I plan on using for another meal. Here probably tomorrow night, maybe the night after, I don't know. But yeah, so you're gonna put your cream cheese down in there. Now I like mixing a little mozzarella cheese in there. Just kind of gives it the gooiness whenever you go to eat it. So just grab a little bit of that. I'm gonna throw that down in there like so. And garlic powder. Now the seasoning, that's not something that you have to use. If you want to, great. If you don't, that's fine too. You know, obviously you're just going to season it to however you want it to taste. You know, you're the only one that can really decide on how you want it. You know, whether or not you want it to be spicy or garlicky or whatever. You know, don't use the onion if you don't want it. But so let me get this mixed up and we'll get back at it. All right, so I've got it all mixed up pretty good. So what you're going to do is just kind of get it all squeezed back down to the bottom. That's where you're going to need it at anyway. So get it all pushed back down here. And you want to get it over towards one of the corners. It don't matter. You might even have to use another corner. You know, they're not making Ziploc bags like they used to. They used to hold up pretty good. Now they're not holding up so well at all. Get it down to the corner and then just cut the corner off. Just like so. Okay. Now, simple. Just take your pepper, hold this down inside there, squeeze her full. Once you get done doing that, you're going to go ahead and set it off to the side. So let me get all these filled up here and we'll move on. Looks like I got my wife calling me. Where's my headset at? Hi, honey. Yeah, I'm actually I'm in the process of recording one of the episodes for the Flatbed Kitchen. We're making poppers at the moment, and we're gonna make some other stuff afterwards. Anything I can help you out with right now, or can I give you a call back here in a little bit? I do not believe so. All right, love you. Bye. Oh, I love that woman to death. All right, so we've got all the peppers filled. I got a little bit left, not much. I don't even know if I'm even going to save that. Yeah, I will. I'll eat it with a couple crackers here in a little while as another snack. So, what we're going to do is wrap it up with some bacon. And before I do that, these little red containers, I absolutely love these things. I get them, well, let me find one that's actually got what comes in it. It's the Hillshire Farm. You know, and I'm not advertising for them by any means, but these little containers, I love these things. Absolutely love them. You know, I put my cheese in them, I put sausage in them, I put bacon in them, anything. I put everything in them. You know, I use them as storage containers, just everything. All right, so what we need to do at this point is we need to get these things wrapped up with the bacon. And let me go ahead and pull out another, actually I don't even need to use a plate. Let's push that off to the side. In the cup, I've got some toothpicks that I've got soaking in water already. That way they don't burn up whenever I put them in there. But let's go ahead and we'll get one of these things wrapped up here. So what I like to do is wrap the end of it and then just start wrapping it around. And I use the entire slice of bacon. I know I could go ahead and cut some of that off, but you know what? I'm a proud American and I love my bacon. I love my bacon. More bacon the better. America. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take that and just stick it right on in there. So what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and get the rest of these things wrapped up. And we'll move on to getting the oven fired up. And then at that point, I've got some other things I want to try making for you here real quick. So let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, let's go ahead and set that thing to bake. And we'll just set the thing to stay on. I don't need it to tell me when it's done. I'll be able to look in there and see it. So, all right. So like I was saying, I've been trying all day to figure out what it was I wanted to eat. And I finally came up with it. I have got some chicken down in here. I've got some spaghetti and some spaghetti sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and make myself up some chicken marinara tonight. I think that sounds pretty good. It ought to taste good. Looks like I'm building up a nice pile of dirty dishes back here. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get everything out to go ahead and get that done. First thing we're going to need is some water. Got to get the noodles boiling, right? And yeah, I know, using bottled water, not necessarily the best option. Definitely not the cheapest option. However, I forgot to grab a gallon of water. So, this is what we're going to use. I won't have to use very many of them, just a couple of them. In fact, that ought to be enough for me. And figure out what I do with my noodles. Oh, there they are. Nice cheap noodles, thin spaghetti, pot perfect, and they are too. They fit right in there. You don't even have to bust things apart to get them in. All right. So we're gonna have that going on here, and I've got it turned up on high, and it does not take long to cook them in there. It does not take long at all. It's amazing how fast that this butane stove will get it warmed up and get it to where the water is boiling and we're ready to go. So that's unbelievably fast. But while that's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and dig out a couple other things that I need. Parmesan cheese, which I'll probably end up using some of the other cheese as well. Oh, let's see, where's my pasta sauce at up in here? There's my spaghetti sauce. And my chicken is down here, so we'll go ahead and grab that. All right, so I'm back. I went and got the pasta all drained out. Let's leave that off to the side. Actually, let's just leave all that off to the side there. Let's move this stove. Get that out of the way so that can cool off somewhere out of my way. Get out another one of my wonderful pieces of china here. Get those dumped out there. Then we just need to add the chicken. And you know, I like eating healthy, but at the same time, you know, I know the bacon's not the best for me health-wise, but I don't care. You know, they're just you come to a certain point in time where you just don't care. You know, and when it comes to bacon, that's my weakness. Bacon and Almond Joys, I love them both. You know, and the Monsters, which my wife don't like me drinking the Monsters. Understandably though, you know, they're not good for you. Those things are horrible for you actually, but they're good, and I like them a lot. But there we go, piece of cake, nothing to it. Let's go ahead and we'll let's throw a little bit of cheese on it. We'll throw a little bit of that garlic seasoning on there because I really like that stuff. Throw some of that on there. Oh man, that looks good. And we'll throw a little bit of this on there. Let's see here. I do have real silverware, believe it or not. I just don't like to use it all the time. See what we got here. Oh man, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, that's much better than you can get, or that I've ever had, from a truck stop. Oh man. You know, I almost eat better on the road than what I do at home. That's all right though. You know, whenever I go home, we like to spend time with each other and not so much time spent in the kitchen. You know, I love to cook though. Always have. Pretty good at it. At least I seem to think so. But yeah, oh man, that's good stuff right there. Man. Oh, let's get this stuff out of the way. You know, I wish this truck was about, oh, I don't know, 6 foot longer. Sure would make life a little bit easier with all this. Let's see what we got going on in here. They are looking good. They need a little bit more time though. those are not quite done. So I'll tell you what, so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me eat this down, because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let it get cold while I wait on the peppers to get done. And I knew the peppers were gonna take a little longer anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and cut you guys out of this again. Whenever I come back, that will be empty. All right, so like I said, we would be coming back to an empty plate. And oh my goodness gracious, were they good. Those things were phenomenal. They're just beyond words good. So it looks like the peppers are actually done. So we're gonna go ahead and work on getting those pulled out of here. Well, let me rephrase that. They're done to the point that I like them. Everybody's a little bit different when it comes to bacon. I like mine still looking like bacon and not shoe leather. My lovely wife, on the other hand, would disagree with me wholeheartedly. She hates her bacon to not be burnt to a crisp. But that's her choice. You know, she's allowed to have it like that. It's America. You can eat your bacon any way you want it. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and pull all these out. And that right there is what you end up with. You know, so I'm gonna let these things sit here. Oh, let's turn this off. I'm gonna let this thing sit here for probably a good 5-10 minutes. You gotta let them cool off enough to even be able to touch them. You know, again, I would really rather do these on a fire pit. I like doing them on the fire as opposed to the grill, because you get that smoky flavor. One of these days I'm gonna get myself a grill for on the truck. You know, there's a reason that this is the flatbed kitchen. You know, I've got a flatbed, and it's easy enough to get yourself a charcoal grill or something to be able to cook on. You know, if I'm doing a 34 somewhere and I've got a charcoal grill, you know, I might even be inclined just to bring some wood from the house with me. Sorry about that. Wouldn't you know, the bloody SD card popped up and said that it was full, so I had to swap it out real quick. So anyway, if I have a charcoal grill, you know, I can bring a little bit of wood with me, not enough, or not a lot, just enough to be able to cook up, you know, some steak or pork chops or whatever, peppers. Now one thing that I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, probably not, is this little tray that came in this toaster oven, I actually wrap it in tin or aluminum foil. The reason I do that is to make it easy cleanup for reasons or instances just like this. You know, so I'm gonna let that sit there and cool off to the point where the grease actually gets hard enough that it's not gonna run all over the place and make a bigger mess on my way out of the truck with it. But yeah, that's kind of how I do that. You know, to begin with, I didn't want to have to do dishes at all, and I just kind of got to the point where you know that you have to do dishes. But just to let you know, or let you see what these things look like, you know, and that, as far as I'm concerned, that bacon right there is perfect. You know, it's still good and moist. You know, it's not all dried out to the consistency of the bottom of a Red Wing boot. So but that right there is gonna wrap it up here for tonight. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. I will be having more videos come out here shortly. You know, I plan on making a couple good dinners here the next couple nights, and I'd love to be able to share them with everybody. So again, thank you. Have yourself a wonderful evening.